Welcome to Into the Unknown. I'm your host, Kraken. I've been a paranormal investigator for 14 years. When my dad passed away in 2010, I began experiencing some unusual things, which led me to become an active member in the paranormal community. In 2011, I helped found the National Paranormal Society and currently serve as a senior director overseeing 2 departments which cover investigation research, team resources, and photography. I have led 3 local paranormal teams and currently lead NPS of Texas. From 2011 to 2014, I was involved in the filming of NPS alone as the only female investigator on a team of 5. I have previously hosted 3 paranormal shows: Torching Hot Topics with Torch Paranormal, DNS Live with DNS Paranormal Crew, and NPS Focus, all hosted on the Para Encounters Network. The study of the paranormal is called parapsychology. During the show, we will cover ghosts and hauntings, haunted locations, aliens and UAPs, also known as UFOs and ufology, cryptozoology, demonology, ancient mysteries, and the occult. Within these areas, we focus on photography, science, health and safety, technology, and investigation research, along with team resources. Since this is a featured show on the Meet Me app, I will not be able to acknowledge your comments in real time or thank you individually for your gifts. But I will take a moment at the end of the show to say thank you and to give some shout outs. If you have questions or comments for me, please stay after the show. Please also remember to keep the comments respectful in the chat and towards myself and my guests. Those who cannot contain themselves will be escorted out of the stream. Now, if y'all are ready, let's go into the unknown. Does it sound okay? Because I know we're getting crossover again tonight during the featured show. So just bear with me here. All right. Good evening and welcome to Into the Unknown, where we journey deep into the mysteries that defy explanation. I'm your host, Kraken. Whether you're a true believer or a skeptic, prepare to have your mind expanded as we step into the realm of the unexplained. Tonight's paranormal area is ghosts and hauntings, and my guest tonight is Queen LaLa, who I did see in the chat, so welcome in. All right, so first up, let's get to our paranormal news around the world. This piece right here. So last week I gave you guys an update that there was a hearing that was going to be held on the 9th with the House Oversight Committee. So I wanted to start off with an update on that, and then we'll get into the rest of what we've got to go on. So the update from the House Oversight Committee hearing, that was April 9th. The key witnesses in that hearing were Luis Elizondo, who is former DoD official and ex-director of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, Dr. Tim Gallaudet, who is a Rear Admiral with the U.S. Navy, retired, and CEO of Ocean STL Consulting, Michael Schellenberger, who is an investigative journalist and founder of Public, and Michael Gold, who's a former NASA Associate Administrator for Space Policy and Partnerships. Highlights from the hearing did include the following. Luis Elizondo asserted that UAPs are real and that advanced technologies not made by any government are monitoring sensitive military installations globally. He claimed that the U.S. and some adversaries possess UAP technologies. We've heard about this, right? Dr. Gallaudet emphasized the national security need for more UAP transparency, criticizing the DoD's lack of disclosure to Congress and the public. Michael Schellenberger highlighted that elements within the military and intelligence community are in violation of their constitutional duty by not informing Congress about UAP operations. The congressional response? Well, lawmakers expressed frustration over the lack of transparency from the DoD and intelligence agencies. Calls were made for increased disclosure and accountability to ensure the American people are informed about UAPs. And there you have it. If you're wondering whether the truth is out there, according to Congress, it just might be, and they're demanding answers. We're going to stay on top of this as we learn more. So now let's start off with what's going on around the world with the paranormal this week. We've got some upcoming paranormal events and gatherings to take place if you guys want to make note of it. So, according to the Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association, Connecticut's premier paranormal and true crime convention, Paracon, is celebrating its fifth year on July 12th through the 13th at Waterbury's Crosby High School. The event will feature over 30 experts, including Butch Patrick, y'all know him, Eddie Munster from the Munsters. The East Texas Paranormal Conference was scheduled for this past weekend. Somebody in the chat went. We'll learn about it some more this week. It happened in Mineola, Texas. The conference offered attendees the chance to engage with paranormal investigators and enthusiasts. And there were two people there from way back in the day when I used to do that circuit. So, Warrenology, an evening with Annabelle, will take place on April 12th at the Twisted Vine restaurant in Derby, Connecticut, featuring the infamous haunted Annabelle doll. We got a doll theme going on tonight, you guys. Pay attention. This event offers attendees a rare opportunity to view Annabelle and other artifacts from Ed and Lorraine Warren's collection, including a conjuring mirror and a shadow doll. The evening includes a buffet dinner and a presentation by Tony Spira, the Warrens' son-in-law and co-director of the New England Society for Psychic Research. Learn more by visiting ConnecticutPost.com. Scheduled for April 25th and 26th in Casper, Wyoming, is a ghost hunt at Fort Casper Museum, which invites participants to join paranormal investigators on guided tours using specialized ghost hunting equipment. Tickets went on sale April 1st, offering a hands-on experience in detecting and documenting paranormal phenomena. For more information, you can visit the Fort Casper, it's CASPAR, museum's website. All right, we have a notable paranormal investigation to mention tonight from the New York Post. The Long Island Paranormal Investigators has explored approximately 65 to 70 locations across Suffolk and Nassau counties, employing specialized equipment to detect supernatural occurrences. Their recent examination of the historic Nathaniel Rogers House in Bridgehampton yielded some of their clearest paranormal evidence. So, looking into the paranormal media and entertainment section, the popular series Ghost Adventures is set to premiere a new season this week on April 16th, featuring investigations into infamous locations, including the first ever paranormal investigation of the iconic Poltergeist House. To read more about the new season, check out the Futon Critic. Set to launch on April 6th is Haunted House Renovator. This is an immersive game that allows players to banish ghosts and renovate haunted homes, blending elements of paranormal investigation with creative design. A little bit of home decorator and ghost. I'm all about it. Want to read more about it? Check out the Bleeding Cool News. Haunted Discoveries. We're going to talk about that tonight too. Their fourth season premiered on March 7th, delving into the Kentucky anomaly. The American Paranormal Research Association collaborates with scientists, including ex-prize winner Dr. Harry Clore, to explore connections between Civil War battlegrounds, geological anomalies, and supernatural phenomena. Read more about the new season on the Daily Music Rules website. Now, the Paranormal Investigators Almanac 2025 edition was just released last month. This almanac offers insights into ghost hunting experiences, complete with charts detailing investigations from 2023 and 2024, including moon phases and temperatures. Very important to take note of when you're investigating. You can purchase it on Amazon, and it's perfect for those of you just getting started in paranormal investigating, or as a refresher for those who still feel a little rusty in your skills. These events and releases highlight the ongoing fascination and exploration of the paranormal across various platforms and communities. So, let's get out of paranormal news and let's get ready for trivia. All right. So the new format of the show is we're going to give you the trivia questions up front. This is going to talk about what we're going to talk about tonight, what you're going to learn tonight. So here are tonight's questions. Question number 1. What is the name of the theory that suggests some spirits may not realize they've died, especially after traumatic or sudden death? Number 2. What type of haunting is described as a spiritual echo that replays events without interacting with the living? Number 3, in spiritual and paranormal beliefs, what are people called who are thought to be especially in tune with emotions and energy, including that of spirits? Number 4, which spiritual belief system teaches that the soul is reborn in a new body, depending on karma, with the ultimate goal of reaching enlightenment? Number 5, what renowned paranormal researcher famously investigated Borley Rectory in the early 20th century? All right, number 6. What infamous area at Waverly Hills Sanatorium was used to secretly transport the deceased and is reputedly haunted? Which island near Venice is widely considered one of the world's most haunted and was once used as a quarantine station? Number 8. England's ancient Ram Inn is said to be haunted by multiple spirits. What unusual historical feature beneath the inn is rumored to intensify its paranormal activity? Number 9. What is one thing Queen LaLa and I have in common? And number 10. Where is Queen LaLa from? Those are our questions for the night, so make sure you pay attention as we go through the show. All right, so new format for the show. Y'all ready? In preparation for my shows, I asked my guests if they have any questions they would like for me to answer during the show. Queen LaLa gave me a few, so I thought they were pretty good, so we're going to include them here. So let's take time and answer those questions. All right. The first question she had for me was, where do I believe we go when we die? Well, the truth is, nobody really knows where we go. That's what makes it such a powerful and timeless mystery. There are some fascinating ideas out there depending on what lens you want to look through. Many believe our consciousness or soul continues on in some form. In paranormal circles, it's thought that spirits may linger due to unfinished business, traumatic death, or strong emotional ties, hence hauntings. Residual energy might replay certain moments, while intelligent spirits might try to communicate with the living. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and other traditions, death isn't the end, it's a reset. The soul is believed to be reborn in a new body, depending on the karma you've built up in this life. The ultimate goal? Break the cycle and reach spiritual enlightenment. In Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, there's the concept of an afterlife, a heaven, a hell, or something in between, like purgatory. The idea is that how you live determines what comes next. Some scientists and philosophers argue that consciousness may be more than just brain activity, and some theorize it might continue in some form after physical death. Near death experiences, NDEs, often involve vivid visions, feelings of peace, or encounters with beings of light. But skeptics say it's just a brain chemistry during trauma. Others believe death is the end, like the switching off of a light. Consciousness ceases and we simply return to the earth. Nothing scary, just nothing. Whatever the truth is, it's one of the oldest mysteries in human history and a cornerstone of the paranormal. It's what makes ghost stories, spiritual communication, and belief in the afterlife so endlessly fascinating. So, what do you guys think happens when we die? Share your answers in the chat. Let's talk about it. And we'll definitely talk more about it when Queen LaLa gets in the box. All right, so the second question Queen LaLa asked me was, am I sensitive to spirits? You know, I do believe I'm sensitive to spirits, or at least to energies around me. I've had a lot of experiences during investigations where I've felt like a sudden shift in the air, or like somebody walking up on me. You guys have heard me tell that story, or sneaking up when no one is physically there. It's not always visual, it's a feeling. Sometimes I'll get full body goosebumps, and other times I experience deja vu out of nowhere, almost like a spiritual nudge or memory that doesn't belong to me. These sensations usually happen when emotionally charged places or when I'm helping a client. There's actually a lot of research and theory out there about this. From a metaphysical perspective, many believe that people who are more in tune, like intuitives or empaths, are more likely to pick up on subtle energy shifts. Empaths especially are known for their ability to sense emotions and energy in people and in places. That could extend to spirit energy as well. From a psychological standpoint, some scientists think that people who are more observant of their surroundings or have higher emotional intelligence may be more likely to pick up on subtle clues, maybe even micro changes in sound, temperature, or body language, which could explain why some of us feel something before something obvious happens. Of course, in the paranormal field, we take that a step further and we ask, what if we're not just picking up on environmental clues, but on spiritual ones too? I think it's a combination of sensitivity, intuition, and experience. And honestly, whether it's science, spirit, or somewhere in between, I trust those feelings when they happen because they have never steered me wrong. And the last question Queen LaLa had for me was, do I think spirits know they're dead? That's such a great question, and one that I've asked myself many times during investigations. Do spirits know they're dead? I honestly think it depends. From everything I've seen and experienced, I do believe that some do and some don't. So let's break it down. When we talk about residual hauntings, it's like a spiritual echo. Those aren't conscious spirits. They're more like energy impressions replaying in a moment, time, over and over again, like a stuck record. Those hauntings aren't interactive. They don't respond. They don't acknowledge anyone. They just are. In those cases, I don't think the entity is aware of anything, including the fact they have passed. But then you have intelligent hauntings, and those are the game changers. When I'm out investigating with my SB7 spirit box or using my Connect and I start getting clear responses to direct questions, that tells me something is aware. I believe these spirits know they've died. They're present, they're listening, and in many cases, they want to communicate. Why are they still here? It's a whole nother fascinating layer. Some spirits may have unfinished business or unresolved trauma. Others might be bound to a person or a place that they loved, or maybe even cursed to remain. And some may have chosen to stay, maybe to protect someone, maybe to wait for something, maybe because they're afraid of what comes next. There's actually a theory I read online that ties into this beautifully: the soul confusion theory. It suggests that spirits caught in traumatic or sudden deaths may not realize they've passed, especially if their death was violent or unexpected. Their consciousness lingers in a sort of limbo, reliving the same moments or trying to reconnect with the physical world. A great pop culture example of this is the movie The Sixth Sense, if you've seen it. In it, we see several spirits who don't know they're dead, including the character Dr. Malcolm Crowe, played by Bruce Willis. The twist at the end reveals he's been dead the entire time and completely unaware. That's soul confusion in cinematic form. Spirits caught in a loop, not because they're malevolent, but because they're lost. And that idea gives intelligent hauntings a whole new weight. Because if we are interacting with someone who knows they're no longer living, that's more than a haunting. That's a connection across dimensions. And in those moments, it's not just about hunting ghosts, it's about understanding them. For those of you just joining us, this is Into the Unknown, a featured show here on the Meet Me app about the paranormal, and I'm your host, Kraken. So far, we've covered paranormal news around the world this week, and we've introduced our trivia questions. Tonight, we're talking about ghosts and hauntings, and my guest is Queen LaLa. Please be sure to hit the fave on me, my guest, and each other in the comments. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate the support. Queen LaLa, if you haven't already, please request the box. I do have one request here, so hopefully that's her. But before I put her in the box, I want y'all to know that she has totally validated me on something when it comes to my fear of dolls. She doesn't like them either. I don't like clowns either, but we'll get into that. Did you know there's actually a name for the intense fear many people experience around dolls? I'm not talking about just feeling creeped out by them like we are. I'm talking about an actual fear of dolls. It's called pediophobia. For those who have this fear, something about the lifelike yet lifeless appearance of dolls creates feelings of unease and dread. And who can blame them? After all, dolls have inspired countless chilling horror stories and movies. Think about the infamous, we mentioned her earlier, the haunted doll Annabelle, or the eerie Victorian porcelain dolls whose eyes seem to follow you around the room. Pediophobia isn't just about being scared. For some, it's rooted deeply in our discomfort with something that appears human but just isn't quite right, a concept known as the uncanny valley. Have you ever looked at a doll or a robot and felt a strange discomfort? Something that looks almost human but doesn't seem quite right? This eerie sensation is exactly what the uncanny valley describes. It's a psychological phenomenon where our comfort level increases as something becomes more lifelike, up to a point. Once it crosses this line and becomes too human-like without being convincingly real, it triggers unease or even fear. Think about those realistic porcelain dolls or lifelike robots. Their glassy eyes, frozen smiles, and mechanical movements can feel unsettlingly precisely because they're almost human, yet lack true humanity. This mismatch confuses our brains, creating feelings of discomfort, anxiety, or even fear. And that's exactly why so many of us find dolls creepy. They're trapped right in the heart of this uncanny valley, close enough to human to confuse our instincts, but just different enough to trigger an eerie sense of dread. Queen LaLa and I both admit dolls give us the creeps. How about you? Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Let me know if it's dolls. It's dolls and clowns for me. We've talked about the Clown Motel before. We'll probably talk about it again. So let me switch over here. Let's get Queen LaLa into the box. and we're going to talk about all of this fun stuff with her tonight. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I am creeped out already.
So, I wanted to welcome you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
I
you.
hope you
Thanks
don't
for
mind that
having
I
me.
shared how creeped out we are about dolls, but it tied in with
Oh,
some other pieces of the show. So, I was like, I had to
yes,
include that in clowns. You told me dolls creep
yes.
you out. Mine is dolls and
It's
clowns.
it's the dolls. It's everything that you very much said. It is the eyes, the too humanness of like even mannequins sometimes, like
Yeah.
in Nordstrom's or like you know what I mean. Back in the day, the Barneys of it all. No, 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 no,
No,
no, no, no,
no,
no.
no.
No,
And I remember
no,
growing
no,
up, I
thanks.
had one of those little porcelain dolls. And as I was writing this, I
Ew.
was like, I wonder what happened to that doll. She just like disappeared, which is
Oh
eerie
no.
of it, like it's whole eerie anyway. Anyway, I want you to we're getting already into our showpiece here. Introduce yourself, tell people when they can find you when you stream, what you have coming up, and then we're going to get back into this creepiness.
Sounds good. My name's Queen LaLa. I am the leader of the Queen's Army, the Love and Light Brigade. I am a featured show host as well. I'm every Thursday at 1 p.m. I have a featured show called Crowned. It is an interview style show about your confidence journey and manifesting from your crown chakra. And then I have 100 million other shows. You can catch me every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard from Wednesday to Saturday.
Very cool. You guys make sure and hit her with a fave. We love our featured show community around here because all the hosts of the featured shows, we're kind of cool. I'm just saying. So, all
We're
right,
nice.
we're gonna get one trivia question out of the way here.
Okay.
So, when I was prepping for this show, I asked Queen Lala which was her favorite of the 7 areas of the paranormal. I want you guys to try to guess what it is sitting here in the chat, but I also want you to tell me which ones were your favorite.
So I'm into all of the things that are paranormal. So I love the Warrens. I love the ghosts and goblins of it all. I really enjoy paranormal because of exactly what you said. Like you have this thought of what life is like after, but there's so many sectors of like what could happen to your soul and what could happen to your spirit, and then like the paranormal mixed with the living is that whole investigation piece for me. I love the paranormal. Oh my god, it's time to play. I I love the TV shows like paranormal, what is it, the Paranormal College and Ghost
There's a
Hunters
bunch of
and
them
all that. I
now.
love all of that. I'm so intrigued, especially the last one with the Ghost Hunters that I got really like in the rabbit hole on was the motel, the motel in California where the Zodiac killer stayed. Richard Ramirez, he stayed there. Oh
Oh,
my
I haven't
God,
seen that
it
one
was
yet. That's on
awesome.
my list. I haven't seen that one. I thought you were
Oh my
talking about
God.
the other one where they found the lady in the water system.
Cecil, thank
The
you. The
Cecil,
Cecil
yeah.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's
that is a
creepy.
good one. That
But
one
you know
is
what?
creepy as
That's one that they
ATL.
still haven't solved.
No, they haven't solved. What's her name? The little Asian girl, poor thing, and you could see her little hands growing like beyond her.
That there are so many
Beyond her.
stories from that hotel and they have remodeled it and tried to rename it and tried to do different things with it, and it's just I have a feeling it's just on a cursed piece of land. Like I don't know, it's just really weird. I was thinking about you yesterday. I was telling everybody in my stream before I started the show. I always come in on Sunday and program my show and everybody gets a y'all get a cheat sheet of looking at the trivia questions sometimes, but I start programming my show, and so I started working on my podcast for my YouTube
Oh,
channel. So I'm recording all my shows, putting them on YouTube, and then I'm going back to my old shows and reformatting them for a podcast. So I was working on it last
awesome.
night, and we were talking about the island of the dolls in Mexico, and I'm sitting here looking at pictures. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I was thinking about you. I'm like, this is like such a lead in for the show tomorrow night to talk about this. I'm like,
Something not with
so I'm going to
dolls.
warn you right now, Queen Lala, when my podcast comes out, do not watch
Okay.
the one that's called Paranormal Passport because it has the Island of
Paranormal
Dolls in it.
Passport. Okay,
Don't watch
I
it.
won't watch it.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Oh my goodness.
Don't watch it.
Dolls, I cannot, girl.
All right, so
Ooh.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
What? Oh, and you know what? I had a note here that you also liked the occult too. So you guys, that's
Yes.
part
Oh
of the
my
trivia question.
goodness. So the yeah, witches and the Salem witch trials and all of that. That was always such a treat for me in history, like in school and stuff. I
Well, and it's
always
crazy because you
got really
learned it
into
in
it.
school, right?
I did learn it in school. Mm-hmm. That's a Florida education for you.
That's what's
But yeah,
crazy.
absolutely. Yeah.
We're talking paranormal. We're definitely talking paranormal inside of school. Like you guys think
Absolutely.
about um the Civil Wars and World Wars that have gone on, and the places that we talk about are the most haunted goes back to that. We've talked about some of those locations. We'll talk about a couple of them a little bit later on in the show tonight too, but anytime there's been trauma like that or anything that's unexpected, you guys, like it's going to be haunted. And then you
Ghosts.
can pop over to Top Badge PB and Julia's show and talk about the true crime that happened. I talk about it
That
afterwards.
too.
She talks about the human side. So, all right. So, Queen LaLa, what drew you into the paranormal?
So I grew up with my family always watching scary movies and always being really into scary movies. But what got me really interested to like really start looking into it a little bit more deeper and a little bit more like media wise was I had an experience with a death in my family, and my cousin passed, and girl, I didn't take a shower for a week. I was like 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old, and I heard my cousin say my name. He just all he did was yell my name, but he had already passed away. So it was a disembodied voice, and I was scared.
That is crazy. But you only heard it the one time?
I only heard him once, and I feel like I put out these feelers to the spirit worlds of like, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to. Nope, don't contact me. Big fat stop sign in front of me in spirit form.
It is a
Leave me
no.
alone.
Do you keep
It's
a
a
bottle
no
of
for
holy
me.
water with you too? I have to sprinkle it on my
It's
stream sometimes because of some of the people in my stream act up. So we sprinkle holy
it's
water.
Florida water for me. Florida water, and it's so funny. It's all right here too. Florida water and sage, my love. Florida water and sage. These are my go tos. But yes, holy water. Holy water. There's a big Catholic church in the city I'm from, and they have like this big old grotto, big nun grotto. So I like to go and get holy water specifically from that Catholic church because of the nuns that are
That
there.
are. Well, and side note for you guys that are in the chat that do paranormal investigating and want to get holy water, you can go to the Catholic Church without being Catholic and get it. Just know that once you've gotten one bottle of holy water, you can remake more holy water from that bottle. It just takes a couple of drops. We'll talk about it in a future show, but just know that you can go, you are welcome to go to the Catholic Church and get it because a lot of the Catholics practice cleansing their homes with that holy water as well. Not for the
Yes.
reason that we do.
Mop it. I'm mopping like this is my new house I just moved into, and that's what we do. I
See?
grew up Catholic,
Yep.
and you mop your home with Florida water and holy water.
Yep. See, you guys are learn. Y'all should learn something in here all the time. Okay. So what? So you had the experience with your cousin and the voice. Any
Mhm.
other experiences that you've had along the way?
No, not really. Like I said, for me, I put up a big stop sign after that, but the biggest thing is like I'm from Key West, and these dolls, it's for me in Key West, it's Robert the doll. So me and Robert, we have always listen, I stay away from him and he stays away from me. There's been a couple times where I have had friends, I've had family. Come on, let's go on ghost tours. Come on, let's do this, let's do that. No, no, no,
That
no, 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 no. I'll go on the walking tour because I know that on the trolley tour, you got to go into the East Martello Tower and look at Robert, and I'm not doing
you're like,
it.
I'm just
And
gonna wait for y'all here. I'll keep the bus nice and cool for everybody. It'll be okay.
listen, I considered that, but I feel like I am easy to be peer pressured, and that whole tour would be like,
God
"Come
damn straight. How
on,
come everyone's getting
girl,
fucking laid
come
and
on,
happy
girl!"
with
And if
us?
there's a woman that's
See?
cheering me
I'll
on, I'm a
hold your
brave
hand.
girl.
It'll be okay. I'll hold your hand. It'll be okay. And you're like, where's my holy water?
Girl, I would be melting. Do you see me having a whole like existential crisis over here? Even thinking about it, I cannot.
And
I
there's some like,
literally
this doll is haunted, right? I
very,
went to Vegas and I
very.
went to the haunted museum there, Zach's haunted museum that's there, and there's a doll there, and you can't take pictures, like you have to turn off your phone, like all it's super sensitive, right? So
That's
we're walking,
Robert.
well, yeah, so I'm walking past this doll and I'm like, "Hi." Ooh, I want to like hurry up and get, and I can feel like the piercing stare from a doll, y'all. A doll, not a dog, a doll, a doll. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Yeah, and
The
Kane
chills on my body right now.
Kane
Ugh.
was with me when we went to Vegas. We'll have to talk about that on a different show, Kane. We definitely you need to come back on. We need to talk about our Vegas experience because we'll save that
Was
for
it
later. But
vomit?
it was no. I had one of our roommates had something follow her back from the museum, and it was not fun. It was not fun. It was not fun. We'll definitely,
Oh my
Kane, you got to come
God.
on. Kane, you got to come
Listen,
on. We got to talk about it.
you have to be careful of stuff like that. Even like after this conversation, I'm going to cleanse this space. You know what I mean? Like you have to be so careful. The things you can say their names, you can
Yep.
invoke those spirits.
Yep.
Like it's not a joke. The paranormal is not anything to play with at all.
No, and I
After a
tell
serious
people, make
conversation,
sure
always
if
clear.
you're
Yep.
opening something, you got to make sure you know how to
You have
close
to
it.
close it. Yeah. That's how hauntings happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the
if you
biggest
need help,
thing.
ask somebody. You got Mikey down here in the chat. I just recently met him. He's a paranormal investigator as well. You guys
Mhm.
find us. We will help you through all of this. Don't go Google search it because you'll get a whole bunch of stuff. Like you like your sage. I like using dragon's blood and frankincense because the frankincense enhances it. I don't like the smell of sage. I just never have. And I've had better
Absolutely.
results with frankincense and with the dragon's blood, and
Okay.
it smells amazing. So, first of the month
My
and on a
grandmother
full
uses
moon,
dragon's blood. My
that's what we do.
grandma, the dragon's blood incense.
Incense.
My
Mm-hmm.
grandma uses that.
It smells so
Yep,
good. It smells so good.
it
It's not
does.
actual
It
dragon blood,
smells
but
like the whole
you can kind
house.
of pretend like it is, and you got a dragon protecting your house.
Absolutely.
All right, so
Invoking dragon spirits.
the questions that you asked me, I'm gonna throw back at you because I'm like, if you asked them of me, you had to have some thought behind it, and if
Of
you didn't give
course.
any thought to it, that's okay too. But I'm like, I loved the questions. I loved answering them. So, where do you think we go when we die?
So I am a Christian woman. So I believe in heaven and hell, but I also believe in a righteous God, and I don't believe that hell is like burning, prodding, like you getting all of the sins triple timed on you. Like, no, I think it's just the absence of Jesus. Like, it's just the darkest place that you can be where you just don't have the opportunity to feel the Lord anymore. I think that's what
You feel like
hell,
all the color comes out of your world, basically.
all of it, like literally, like literally that movie Strangeville or something like that, where they are in black and white and then they start to feel and they turn into color. I feel like that's what it's like stepping into the golden gates of heaven, is
I
just
think
the
that's an
world in a
awesome
technicolor
outlook.
space where you ain't never seen colors like that before.
That is awesome. I love that.
Pleasantville, thank you, Michelle.
Yep,
Yes,
Michelle
like
knows all these
Pleasantville.
shows. I'll have to start
Yeah,
watching some stuff.
movie. Pleasantville is a good movie. That's what I believe, that you go with, do the right things.
I love
But
that though. Okay, so based on that thought,
yes,
do you think spirits know their dad?
I, I believe exactly what you said, but that's because of the education that I have of the normal world. I believe that there are things that literally are just stuck in a time, like a time hole, and they can't figure out what's up and what's down. They
Yep.
only know this scenario, like Groundhog's Day.
Yes.
and
Yes.
and then yes, I very much believe that there are intelligent spirits like my cousin. My goodness, he must have been a smart man. You know what I mean? It was less than a month after he passed, and
And
he
here he
was
comes.
a disembodied voice. So I
And probably knew he'd freak you out, so that was his last little joke.
I believe that too, because he was definitely, he taught me how to play piano. He was definitely like my older fun cousin. Definitely. He
Aw, so you had like a little bit of a hug from the grave from the other side come.
girl. I did not want that hug. I did not ask for that hug. Why are you hugging me? You died.
See, I have my dad passed 15 years ago. I have my dad comes to see me. I lost my brother in November, and my older sister was like, "Hey, have you seen our brother? Has he come across as anything to you yet?" I'm like, "No, but I want y'all to know my brother was a smoker most of his life. The last like 5 or 6 years he quit. And here lately, nobody smokes in my house. I'm
You
never
smell
around a
smoke.
smoker. I can be going up and down the stairs and I can smell smoke to the point that I'm like, there is nobody
That
here
is
with me.
too
So
cool.
I'm wondering if my brother's he played a little joke on me when I was you probably don't know my whole story, but I have a guitar that my brother made for me. My brother made guitars and drums. My brother was a musician. He made a
Okay.
guitar for me. I had never seen it. I'd heard about it from my other siblings and my mom, right? Couldn't find it. Came home, got the pendulum out, and I feel like my brother played a joke on me because he put the guitar he made for me in the case of his favorite guitar, and his favorite guitar was put in a new case. So I'm like, you jerk. I had other words for him, but we can't say it on the featured show. She's sitting over here now, so I'm waiting for my brother to kind of come through with it. So
That's really
that will be
nice.
cool. If it's the cigarette smoke, it's okay. I just don't want it infiltrating my whole house. I just cannot stand that smell. But
Hopefully
we'll see
it'll
how that
just
goes.
be by the guitar. Like he'll just
Yeah,
have the cigarette smoke
it can
near the
stay
guitar.
here
The
and
cigarette
then
smoke smell by the guitar.
that's it.
Don't be smelling at my house, sir.
No, because then I got to get the dragon's blood back out more than once a month. I mean, come on now. All right. We are
Oh
coming
my
to the
goodness.
end. You need to come back on. We need to visit some more. My guest segments, I schedule
Yes.
them for like 20 minutes and they go by so fast now. I love it though. All right. So tell us again, when can we find you? When do you stream? What is your featured show name? Are you looking for guests? Give us all the deets.
Yes, yes, yes. So first of all, because of the trivia question, I am from Key West, Florida. Um, I I number two, I am a featured show host, crowned every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. I am looking for guests. I'm specifically looking for women, ladies. I don't know where y'all are at, but y'all are not messing with me right now.
All the women
It's
in the chat, we're going to
horny.
record your names and we're
I'm
going
a
to give them to Queen
girl's
LaLa.
girl. Come and play with me. Come
I've been
chat
on her
with
show. It's so
me.
much fun, you guys. It is so much fun.
Yes,
Let me know if
it's
you
a
need me
good
to come on again.
I will absolutely invoke your spirit onto onto crown. No, Lord, help me. I need women on crowns. The fellas coming through for once. The ladies, y'all are dropping the ball on me. And then I'm also I have a game show called Eureka. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, and I have a really juicy talk show coming out on Saturdays. It will not be this Saturday, because this Saturday is WrestleMania. Yeah, so
We
next
got
Saturday,
priorities, y'all. We got priorities for our
I,
shows.
WrestleMania is this weekend. Tune in. Okay, so next weekend premieres my show on Saturday, and it's called MMZ. It's Meet Me Z, like TMZ, but
I love it.
so come and check your girl out.
You
And then
guys,
of course
we gotta go get the deets and the tea.
from me MMZ with Queen Lala and Princess Ella. So
I
you
love
can
it.
on Saturday night. And then Mondays, of course, 2 p.m. Eastern, I am the co host of The Daily Dish with Dimples.
Nice. All right, so you guys, favorite Queen Lala before she pops out of the box. Y'all make sure go check her out for her shows. And you females that I see in this chat, I'm literally going to write your names down and send them to her after the show.
I need y'all, especially you, Savage. I've been trying to get you on the show for
Not getting
17
called out
years.
in the show. She's threatening us with the chocolate up in here. All right, for those of you just joining us, this is Into the Unknown, a featured show here on the Meet Me app about the paranormal, and I'm your host, Kraken. We just wrapped up visiting with my guest, Queen LaLa, and before that, we covered paranormal news around the world this week. Tonight's trivia questions, I hope you've been paying attention, and the questions Queen LaLa had for me to cover during the show. Please be sure to hit the fave on me, my guest, and each other in the comments. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate the support. And since we're just past halfway through the show, I want to give a shout out to my bouncers who are taking great care of this chat room. Thank you so much for that. Let's take a look at who the top three gifters are at this point in the show. We have at number three, Hearts, number two, Michelle, and number one, Mikey. Thank you guys so much for the gifts tonight. Thanks for being here. If you would like to be on the show, message me on IG or get a hold of Lugs here in the chat. We've got openings in May. We're filled up until May, so come on. All right, so let's move on along to this week's paranormal area segment of the show. We're diving into ghosts and hauntings. So, tonight we're going to look at some of the world's most famously haunted locations, which are England's Borley Rectory, America's Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Italy's Poveglia Island, one of my favorite places, and the Ancient Ram Inn in England. So, buckle up, it's going to be a spooky ride. First, let's journey across the pond to Essex, England, where Borley oh my God, Borley Rectory, constructed in 1862, quickly earned the reputation as the most haunted house in England. Over the decades, eyewitnesses have reported spine tingling encounters with shadowy figures, a phantom horse drawn carriage rumbling past, and most famously, a ghostly nun whose tragic tale remains shrouded in mystery. But that's not all. Poltergeist activity at Borley Rectory included furniture moving on its own, ghostly footsteps echoing in empty halls, and unexplained fires erupting spontaneously. The legendary paranormal investigator Harry Price spent years documenting these eerie happenings, making Borley Rectory a timeless icon of supernatural intrigue. Next, we cross back to the United States, landing in Louisville, Kentucky at the infamous Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Built in 1910, this former tuberculosis hospital witnessed unimaginable tragedy, with thousands of patients losing their lives within its walls due to tuberculosis. Such intense suffering has left behind a chilling legacy. Visitors today regularly report seeing unsettling shadow figures drifting through corridors and rooms, and one spot in particular, room 502, holds especially dark secrets. Its tragic past linked excuse me, linked to ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena. Perhaps the creepiest of all is the infamous death tunnel or body chute. You guys have probably heard of it. Once used in discreetly removing bodies from the building, those brave enough to venture into this eerie passageway often report feelings of dread, unexplained whispers, and sightings of shadowy figures lurking in the darkness. So, back in September 2023, you guys heard us talk about earlier some trips we did. I took a trip that had been on my haunted bucket list forever to the legendary Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's a picture of the building. And let me tell you, this place does not disappoint. Does not disappoint. I was there for the premiere of Haunted Discovery's first episode, held right inside the sanatorium itself. There's me in front of the building. And yeah, you heard that right. A paranormal show debut inside one of the most haunted locations in America. Creepy, creepy perfection. I also got to meet my longtime Facebook friend and fellow investigator, Brandon Alvis, in person for the first time. He is the lead investigator, producer, and director of Haunted Discoveries. You guys heard me talk about that earlier. Here is where they were doing meet and greet before we got to see their season one, episode one special on Waverly Hills. And this is us getting ready to see it. We had to turn off our phones so we couldn't sneak on that. So that's what this is. And then this is me and Brandon. We finally got to meet in person. So you can watch Haunted Discoveries on Haunt TV, YouTube, and Amazon Prime. I just mentioned earlier that Haunted Discoveries just launched its fourth season. So make sure you check it out. The guys are doing a lot of stuff. They're in the Kentucky area. and they just bought a new location, which is going to be awesome, awesome, awesome to check out. So, crossing Waverly Hills off my haunted travel list was a huge moment for me. When I first arrived, the atmosphere didn't immediately scream haunted. It was calm, it was quiet, it was almost too quiet, it was like eerie. But if we've learned anything in the paranormal world, it's that the calm can be the creepiest part. After dinner and the premiere, we got to explore the hospital ourselves. Yes, I went live from inside Waverly Hills, and some of you were right there with me in the stream. I even made it down the infamous death tunnel, and shockingly, my live stream didn't even cut out at the bottom. That alone felt creepy and paranormal all at once. I had my SB7 spirit box running the entire time, and we made some interesting spirit connections. A few voices called out my name. You guys remember hearing it? Michelle, you remember? Yep. Others responded randomly, and we definitely heard footsteps when no one was near us. With a decent sized crowd attending the event, it was hard to get totally alone for a focused session, but the activity was still undeniable. The only tool that I wish I had had that with me that night was my Connect, but I didn't bring it because I was afraid it was going to get damaged during the trip because flying with ghost gear, as you know, is a little risky. But next time, I'm all in. I'm hoping to rent the place out for a private overnight investigation. Just me, some friends, the spirits, and a live stream so you guys can come along for the ride. And of course, I'll be sharing my review and evidence right here on the show. So stay tuned because the next time I go back to Waverly, things might get a little bit darker. All right, so we got a few minutes left here. Let's go check out Poveglia Island in Italy. The infamous island is number one on my bucket list of places to visit and investigate, and I will make it there before I die. Once a quarantine station for plague victims and later an asylum, Poveglia Island is considered one of the world's most haunted locations. Visitors and researchers alike report hearing disembodied screams and voices echoing through the empty structures, witnessing shadowy apparitions wandering the grounds, and experiencing overwhelming sensations of anxiety and dread. Today, access to the island is strictly limited, further deepening its eerie mystique. Located in the Venetian lagoon between Venice and Lido, the island has a complex history marked by various development attempts. In 2014, Italian businessman Luigi Brignario secured a 99-year lease for the island with a bid of €513,000, intending to invest €20 million in restoration. However, the deal was annulled later that year with reports suggesting that the bid was deemed too low. In response to sell efforts, in 2014, the local community formed the association called the Poveglia per Tutti, which translates to Poveglia for everyone, aiming to preserve the island as a public space. Despite their efforts, as of 2023, the island remains uninhabited and closed to visitors. Given the island's status, any redevelopment plans would require approval from Italian authorities, and there are no indications of such initiatives. Finally, we return to England and visit the ancient Ram Inn in Gloucestershire, built in 1145. Known as one of Britain's oldest and most haunted inns, the Ram Inn boasts countless reports of paranormal activity. Guests frequently encounter apparitions, shadowy figures, and intense poltergeist activity, including objects moving by themselves and mysterious noises. Perhaps most chillingly, the inn is rumored to be built atop an ancient pagan burial ground, and some visitors have claimed to experience encounters with demonic presences there. So, whether you're fascinated or terrified, these haunted locations will offer powerful glimpses into the mysteries beyond. Do you dare step inside? All right, let's take a look at our trivia answers here as we get to the end of the show. Hope you guys were paying attention because here we go. All right, trivia question number one. What is the name of the theory that suggests some spirits may not realize they've died, especially after a traumatic or sudden death? That would be the soul confusion theory. What type of haunting is described as a spiritual echo that replays events without interacting with the living? That would be a residual haunting. In spiritual and paranormal beliefs, what are people called who are thought to be especially in tune with emotions and energy, including that of spirits? That would be an empath. Which spiritual belief system teaches that the soul is reborn in a new body, depending on karma, with the ultimate goal of reaching enlightenment? That would be Hinduism or Buddhism. Okay. What renowned paranormal researcher famously investigated Borley Rectory in the early 20th century? That would be Harry Price. What infamous area at the Waverly Hills Sanatorium was used to secretly transport the deceased and is reputedly haunted. That would be the death tunnel or the body chute, which obviously didn't make it to the screen. Sorry about that, you guys. Which Italian island near Venice is widely considered one of the world's most haunted and was once used as a quarantine station? That would be Poveglia Island. England's ancient Ram Inn is said to be haunted by multiple spirits. What unusual historical feature beneath the inn is rumored to intensify the paranormal activity? That would be the ancient pagan burial grounds it's buried on. All right. What is one thing Queen LaLa and I have in common? We both think dolls are creepy. I don't think we could have gotten that across enough. And last but not least, where is Queen LaLa from? She is from Key West. So, did y'all learn anything tonight? Did we have fun with this tonight? It was a pretty interesting show. So, let's get it wrapped up. For those of you just joining us, this is Into the Unknown, a featured show here on the Meet Me app about the paranormal, and I'm your host, Kraken. Tonight, we talked about ghosts and hauntings, and my guest was Queen LaLa. Please be sure to hit the fave on me, my guest, and each other in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all the gifts. I would like to give a shout out once again to my show bouncers for keeping the chat respectful and engaging. Please be sure to favorite them. You'll see them highlighted in red. Now, let's see who the top 3 gifters were for the show tonight. Make sure you hit them up with a fave. At number 3, looks like we've got somebody with an auction. Make sure you fave them and follow. Would be Lovely. Number 2 would be Mikey. And number 1 is Michelle. Michelle, thank you so much for that. You guys make sure you fave all of them. Go down the gifters list and fave everybody. If you want to be on the show, please message me on IG or hit Lugs up in the chat. Normally, like Lugs is saying, we would stay for 30 minutes after the chat to do an after show. Not happening tonight. I got to go pick up my daughter from work. So come check me out this week during my streams. I stream every night but Monday night, and we'll talk about it. So that's a wrap on this week's episode. We explored some of the world's most haunted locations: Borley Rectory, Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Poveglia Island, and the ancient Ram Inn. We also got into some deep paranormal questions like whether spirits know they're dead, what it means to be sensitive to energies, and why dolls creep us out. We're looking at you, Pediophobia. Huge thanks to my guest, Queen LaLa, tonight for coming in. It's always amazing to share experiences and theories with someone who gets it. And to all of you watching or listening, thank you for being a part of this spooky journey. Next time, we're diving even deeper into the unknown. So if you've ever wondered what happens after we die, what's really waiting on the other side, you won't want to miss it. And as always, if you've got a personal paranormal story, questions, or topic request, drop them in the comments or message me. I want to hear from you. Join me next week as we dive into cryptozoology, and my guest will be Kim Possible. Until next time, keep your spirit boxes charged, your minds open, and remember, the unknown is only scary until you start asking questions. That's it for now. Thanks for venturing into the unknown with me. Keep your senses sharp, your flashlight close, and your curiosity wide open. Sleep tight, dream strange, and remember, when the shadows whisper, Kraken's already listening. I hope you guys have a good night. I will see you next week. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for daring to come into the unknown with me tonight. I really appreciate your gifts, but what means the most to me is your being here and showing your support. If you would like to be on the show, send me a message on IG. The link is in my bio. Please stay for the after show segment as I spend the next 30 minutes continuing to talk about what we covered in the show and answering any questions you may have regarding the paranormal field. I hope to see you all again next Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, where we will go back into the unknown. Have a great night and enjoy your week.